All right, fresh off the trip from Tokyo, brought here Lewis a little care package courtesy of Type 1. Hope he enjoys it. Got him a couple little items here.
It was like a haichu or what?
Wow.
I don't know what these are, but they're pretty good. You know what I do want to look at? Is what this one tastes like?
It's a strawberry Kit Kat. Oh yeah, that's the Tokyo Auto Salon map.
Another one? I'm gonna give this to Jeff. Already told him. Spoon collection. Spoon collection. All right, so if you guys want one of these, catch it on eBay.
Yeah. All right, boys, back from the trip. Like I just said, spent 5 days out in Tokyo. Excellent experience. If you have the opportunity to go, I highly recommend that you make it out there. Like I said in the vlogs, oh, that's right, I haven't teased the vlogs. Morris and I, while we were out there, we did a complete 5-day vlog. We hope that you guys are gonna enjoy that. I'll be releasing those in between the next set of install videos that we'll be doing. That way you guys can see everything we did while we were on our trip to Japan. But to get going on today's install, the shop now is an exclusive dealer for CSF cooling parts. We're actually one of the first shops to carry the FL5 radiator from CSF. I think that's a great accomplishment here for the shop. But that's the first thing that we're getting installed for the car. The second thing is we got our hands on, and I don't even know if you can see that, is the charge pipes for the FL5 from PRL. Shout out to them for getting this out. Again, the shop has this in their inventory, so if you are interested in it, hit us up. We'll send this out. Same thing with the radiators. As you can tell in Lewis's words, we've got hundreds of them. But anyway,
we got four available.
Yeah, we got 4 available. We got 2 more available of the charge pipes if you're interested. And we also got from Hell their oil cooler for the FL5. Now we're gonna be installing all these parts on these next couple installs. The first one that you're watching now is the radiator install for the FL5. We're gonna do that. Now again, remember these installs are not in depth just because you can find how to put in a radiator. We're just gonna give you the broad strokes. Shout out to Ravi for hooking us up, sending us the radiators.
All right, I finished unboxing it. Here it is, the long-awaited upgraded radiator for the FL5. This will also work on the DE5, which is the 2023 Integra Type S, so direct fitment. This is the same one that is going to be developed for Honda HPD. So you know you're going to have a race-proven part ready to go. This install should be a lot easier compared to the FK8. We're not going to be having to remove that big old core support up here. And this even comes with the direct fitment for your stock AC condenser. So we're gonna be able to unbolt this and rebolt this right up, and everything's gonna pretty much feel like stock. This is it's gonna be way thicker than the OEM one. You have really good welds. This nice, like polished aluminum look, looks great. We also have whenever you're gonna have to basically drain your radiator, here's gonna be your drain plug. This is gonna be for your ECT2 sensor, which is your engine coolant temperature sensor number 2. If you're running E85, you're just gonna basically plug in the sensor and the stock harness will be connected to your ethanol sensor. Here's gonna be your upper port and this is gonna be your lower port. Everything looks pretty good quality. You're gonna have that nice CSF logo in the front. Luckily, CSF does engrave them up here. I know that a lot of radiators that are more expensive, they don't do anything, but you know, CSF is gonna give you that quality. But overall, what do you think, Albert? What do you think? How does it look like to you?
I think it's gonna provide better cooling, for one.
I mean, it has more rows, so.
Yeah, so that should be pretty beneficial.
I mean, the biggest part that we all talk about when it comes to upgrading a radiator is that the OEM one, although very good, has plastic end caps.
Yep.
And when this thing gets super hot, I think that's where you have failures.
You're gonna have a lid failure, you know?
That's the last thing you need. It's sort of similar to when you have issues with the expansion tank. I mean, you blow that or you blow one of these, it's for sure a head gasket if you don't catch it in time, or pretty much, am I wrong?
No, yeah, it's pretty much over. There is gonna be one thing that I'm gonna tell you guys. Whatever brand you do end up choosing to do an upgraded radiator, you are gonna have an issue when you drain it. It's gonna make a lot more mess because the OEM one does have a little nozzle. When you untwist it, it will drip from a little hole that it has. These upgraded ones, since they're all made out of aluminum, there's not those stock little fittings that they have. So you just be aware that the next time you do have to take the coolant out, there is gonna be a little bit more spillage, but if you're smart about it, you can catch it. If you're not, then you're gonna have a mess. I mean, it's kind of a give or take. You want the car to be performing better on track, or you want to have an easy time maintaining it. This is basically how we're gonna attack this install. First things first, we have to remove the bumper because the
we have to?
Yes, you have to. The AC condenser is in front of it. You need to unbolt that, and the only way to do that is through the front of the bumper. On top of that, there's gonna be two brackets that are holding up the stock radiator, which is one here on the left-hand side and one right under the intake. So the intake will come off. We're gonna try to just remove this top snorkel piece. After that, we have to drain the radiator, remove this upper cooling fan. We have to disconnect the hoses to the engine itself, and then we should be able to lift it forward, upwards. But for sure, this fan is gonna have to come off first before anything. So there's only gonna be these two bolts up here. One here, one right under the intake again. So this intake for sure has to come off. And then at the bottom, there should just be one more bolt. So we see here, there should be one bolt here, one down here, and one down here. And that holds the stock cooling fan. So once we remove those, we'll be able to slide that upwards. And then there's gonna be, once we remove this, we're gonna be able to disconnect the upper hose, which is this one, and then the lower hose from the clips, and then we should be able to take them out of the stock one.
And I was gonna say, and on this car, because Acuity has not developed a reverse flow hoses, we're not doing it. We're going stock. But if and when that becomes available, we will definitely
what we do need?
Change that.
Spoon, please bring back the hoses. But okay.
And make them so when you put your finger on it, it doesn't smear the sticker.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you guys don't know about that, you've never had the hoses.
That's an expensive
little wow. But okay, that's basically what we're gonna do. We'll start removing the bumper, all that. These little installs are gonna be a little bit different because in the intro, as we mentioned, we're gonna be doing a couple different things, but each video will have its own intro basically. And like we had said, we do have 4 available. If you guys do want one, it's already up on our site. It's gonna be on groupandgarage.com, but because we're trying to get these out to you guys first, we have them ready to go. They'll just ship as soon as we get the orders the next day. But besides that, let's jump straight in. We're gonna go move into removing the bumper, and then we'll get back with you guys.
All right, Lewis is just removing the snorkel real quick. And we've mentioned this before. You can always use a screwdriver for this, but I think it's best that you use the right tool because that thing easily gets stripped out, no?
Yep, and then you gotta buy a whole new clamp with the bolt, and that's not worth it.
All right, next step in the process is to remove the 1,000 clips that the front bumper has. We're gonna pull the bumper off. Now, before we hear it from our favorite commenters, why don't we wanna put blue tape on the car?
I'm telling them that we don't have that much tape. This part, you don't need to put tape because it literally, once you remove the clip, it completely comes off. This part, when you start pulling, it's gonna pop off from here, these little areas. I'm telling them to save the tape for this area, which if we do need to put a tool in there, we're gonna be able to save it. So that's the only reason, because in the last time when we did it, this comes right off. We take all this excessive stuff off, and we had a lot of tape. We don't have a lot of tape right now. So now, save the tape.
Now, devil's advocate, when you're reinstalling it, right? When you're putting it on, right? Aren't these pieces going to hit and possibly cause scratches? Although the car is PPF'd for the record. No? Oh, okay.
That's why there's 2 of us. All right. I mean, you gotta really mess up.
Well, our number 1 commenter, please tap in. Let us know what you think.
Oh, God.
Let us know what you think. All right, guys, we just went ahead and removed the 1,000 clips involved to take the front bumper off. And no, it was not that easy to do it. These guys really took their time because there are some clips here that we don't want to lose or break. So you got all these clips in here, and this usually pops off right away.
Don't break these.
Wow, look at all that knowledge you just gave us. Don't break those. But yeah, he used some of his specialty tools to go ahead and make sure that no clips were hurt or harmed during the process. Yeah, once we get to installing the charge pipes, I really hope we're not late to this party, because I think we're kind of one of the first few that have it when it comes to installing some of these parts here. Now, it's not really about who installs things first, it's just to make sure that they're on right and done properly the first time so you don't have issues. What was that?
We're that FL5 shop.
Yeah, we are. All right, boys. We also forgot that the FK8 still lives on. We're gonna use the FK8 spoon thermostat that we used to have on our other car. On the car, this helps out with temps. It opens it up a little sooner. Full disclosure though, if you do end up using the spoon thermostat, you're going to have to disable the P0128 code in your Honda. Okay guys, once they pull out the cooling fan, I'll go ahead and show you exactly what they had to remove.
All right, got the fan out, but the little problem is you have to remove this clip, the clip that holds in here, this clip, and then the ECT2 sensor you have to disconnect. So all of that to get
plus, what are the
4 screws?
What are those?
10s.
10s.
But as you can see with this, do not break any of the clips so you can reuse them. As you can see, ours are all complete. This is what you want. So please be very careful with these, because if not, you're gonna have dangling wires and you don't want that. You're gonna have to re-zip tie them. And
yeah, you don't want dangling anything because the engine gets extremely hot, or worst of all, you don't want any of those falling into the fan. Yeah, and again guys, we're taking that extra step that we didn't say in the beginning, which is to remove the thermostat. And there's no way, right Lewis, like how we did to certain things where we clamp them, there's no way to clamp this off, right? Like,
no, because all the fluid needs to come out of the radiator regardless.
Okay.
And then we're gonna have to re-bleed it, and then you're gonna be introducing air, and at the end of the day, you should have just taken this stuff out, you know?
Don't be cheap.
Don't be cheap, just fucking do it. And then as you see here, do you see where the last 2 10s are? They're gonna be right there inside. You can see that, they're all the way in the bottom right there. You're gonna take those 2 off, and then we can basically remove the radiator. Grab the bag and wrap it in there.
Well, we have heard, feedback on you being the Edge champ. People want to know what that all is about. All right.
Oh, great, there's a hole in it.
Oh,
that's fantastic.
There you go, pal. We went through the whole...
You thought you had a 300 IQ.
We went through the whole deal of making sure the coolant just didn't get all over the all over the car and everything, and it ends up and it's still leaking. Oh boy.
We'll pressure wash off.
Ripperino. There you go.
Where's the other one? Yeah.
All right, so the thermostat install is fairly quick once you have everything removed out of the car. Spoon thermostat, check, already installed. Again, make sure you always put in a fresh gasket for it. You don't want that thing leaking. And then we are already setting up the new radiator. Obviously, this is the lower hose. Here's your sensor as well. Again, we are on fuel system, but our fuel system does not piggyback off of this thing. It's a little bit different. We'll explain in another video for that. But Lewis, does that need to be torqued or anything like that?
Yeah.
You already did that.
I already did all that.
Tight is tight.
Yeah, this is like a really small brass fitting, so
you don't want to mess it up. All right, so now the boys are gonna go ahead and slide in the new radiator in. All right, radiator's in. Guys are just buttoning it up right now. I will say, or Lewis will say, this is a pain, huh? Getting these little screws in here. Last thing you want to do is drop it into the abyss. You guys have already gone ahead and installed the radiator, fan, and shroud. Everything bolted up 100% to the CSF radiator. So far, so good. All the mounting locations have lined up perfectly. No need for modification or anything like that. Again, this radiator fits perfect. How much torque you need on these, Lewis?
9 foot-pounds.
So your ratchet provides 9 foot-pounds of torque?
No, we're gonna go back right now and torque.
Yeah, you want to make sure that you torque them down properly. Lewis is gonna get his torque wrench real quick. 9 foot-pounds of torque, which probably the wrench already gave. Oh, actually not. There we go. All right, boys, spot check time. Let me get Lewis here to give us an update. Doctor, what's going on with the patient?
So we finished the radiator and everything fit, unfortunately.
Everything was direct bolt-on, direct fit. Looks good. What was the most challenging part about it?
Removing the bumper.
You didn't put enough tape.
Okay. No, honestly, the bumper was gonna take you the longest. But yeah, we did the radiator, and then we also included the spoon thermostat, which is gonna help us a lot. But yeah, the only other thing we can do now, cooling, is gonna be the reverse flow hoses whenever they come out. We already did the expansion tank upgrade. That is, I can't, like, hence how beneficial that is, because that will ruin your car. That stock one breaks, it cracks, it's terrible.
And that's what's crazy. Again, I follow this guy up north, Acura Mechanic. I'll list his app here. Literally, he only works on Acuras, obviously, and brand new stock Acuras have had issues with the expansion tank in their Integras and then their Type S's. Brand new. Can you believe that's crazy? And I'm sure that for FL5s, they're having the same thing. I'm sure at one point they'll have a recall on this. Yep. Because it's crazy that it's brand. He's not here. But anyways, I'm sure at one point that will come to fruition. Just like, remember the what was it, the fuel pump?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, fuel pump harness. That was for the FKA. All right, guys. This also concludes the install for the radiator. Again, super quick install from the guys here. They know what they're doing. I trust these two guys. Wow. Jesus. But anywho, guys, this concludes this install video. Make sure you tune in to part 2, which is the charge pipe install, and then part 3, which will be the oil cooler install. And again, we did this in order for a certain reason, which is to make sure that the lines to the oil cooler will clear the area of the charge pipes. But again, guys, from myself, from the trusty labor assistant, and the 3-county, 4-state Edge Master, we'll catch you guys on the next one.